I never thought I'd come home and find my life ripped apart in one glance. It was just past midnight in my apartment in Pasadena. The street was quiet, the kind of silence that feels heavy, almost suffocating. I had been at a party with friends celebrating Jake's promotion, or at least pretending to care, and all I wanted was to crash on my couch with a beer. But the moment I opened the front door, I froze. There she was, Lisa, my ex. The girl who once made me believe love was simple and pure. She was sitting on my dad's leather sofa, legs crossed elegantly, dressed in a tight black dress that screamed intentional seduction. And there he was, my dad, holding a half-empty glass of bourbon, staring at her like she was the only person in the world. I felt my stomach twist. My hands shook. My brain refused to process what I was seeing. This isn't real, I whispered to myself, stepping closer, heart hammering in my chest. The flicker from the dim lamp cast long shadows across the room, turning the scene into some grotesque painting of betrayal. Lisa looked up and smiled, though. That smile's sweet, cruel, deliberate. "Hey," she said, like nothing was wrong, like she didn't just cross every line imaginable. My dad, he froze, caught mid-sip, his face pale, eyes darting between me and her. For a second, the world stopped. Every memory of our family dinners, every laugh we shared, every trust I had in my dad, all of it crumbled into shards on the floor. I wanted to scream. I wanted to throw something, but all I could do was stand there, frozen, watching my past and my family collide into a nightmare I couldn't wake up from. The apartment felt smaller after she left. Not because the walls shrank, but because the air itself seemed poisoned. Lisa had walked out of the room with that same cruel, knowing smile, clicking her heels against the hardwood floor like a countdown ticking toward my undoing. And my dad, he just sat there, staring at the sofa cushions, as if the world had swallowed him whole. I sank onto the armchair, head in my hands. My mind was spinning in circles, like a record stuck on the worst part of a song. Why would she do this? I kept asking myself, was it a mistake? Did he want it? The questions made my chest tighten. I could feel the betrayal like fire running through my veins, burning every memory I had of my family, my home, my life. Memories of Lisa hit me like bullets, her laugh in the cafeteria at East Pasadena High. The way she held my hand walking to the movies, the nights we stayed up talking until sunrise. And then, the fight, the misunderstanding over that stupid text with Jake. She'd cried. I'd walked away. And apparently, she had been planning this ever since. I pulled out my phone and scrolled through old photos, desperate for answers. Each picture felt like a trap, like a reminder of the girl I loved and the woman who had turned against me. I could feel my heart sinking deeper into a pit I didn't know I'd dug for myself. I wanted to confront her, to yell, to demand answers, but something told me it was exactly what she wanted. Her power came from control, from fear, from knowing I had nowhere to turn. And I realized, with a chill crawling up my spine, that this was just the beginning. Lisa wasn't done. She had a plan, and I was a target. I started noticing the little things. First calls I didn't know about, meetings my dad forgot to mention, and then those accidental run-ins at the country club where Lisa worked her charm like a predator. At first I told myself I was imagining things, that maybe my paranoia was getting the better of me, but deep down, I knew better. Something was happening, and I was too close to the fire to ignore it. Lisa had a way of making people feel like they were the center of her universe. My dad was no exception. She would laugh at his jokes, brush lightly against his arm, and lean in just enough to make him notice her in ways he hadn't noticed anyone in years. I could see it in his eyes, the admiration, the curiosity, the pull he couldn't resist. And every time I walked into the room and saw it, I felt my stomach twist into knots. But Lisa wasn't just seducing my dad. She was working her angles everywhere. At the last backyard barbecue, she whispered something to Jake while I was distracted. And later I noticed the text he sent me, awkward, hesitant, defensive. That gut feeling hit me like a punch. She was turning everyone against me. Bit by bit, I was being isolated, manipulated, and I didn't even realize how deep the trap had sunk. I started piecing it together, the dinners, the coincidental meetings, the subtle flattery. It was a strategy, meticulously designed, and the thought made my chest tighten. Lisa wasn't just my ex. She wasn't just my dad's distraction. She was a storm, and I was standing right in its path. By the time I went to bed that night, staring at the ceiling of my small Pasadena apartment, I knew one thing for certain. Lisa had a plan, and it was only a matter of time before every part of my life, family, friends, everything I trusted would be in flames. I should have said something sooner. I should have stopped it before it even began. But by the time I realized how deep Lisa had wormed herself into my dad's life, it was already too late. It started with small things, her showing up at the office by chance when my dad stayed late, offering to help him sort through paperwork, and my dad, usually so disciplined and careful, welcomed her in with open arms, oblivious to the manipulation. Every encounter felt calculated. The way she laughed at his jokes, leaned in just enough to brush his hand, complimented him on trivial things. It was precise, like she'd studied him, memorized his weaknesses, and was exploiting them. I watched from a distance, feeling powerless, rage simmering beneath the surface. How could he not see it? I asked myself over and over. Is he blind? Or does he want this too? Then came the dinners. Lisa invited herself over under the guise of family bonding. She helped cook, she set the table, she lingered in the living room. And every laugh, every touch was magnified in my mind. I could feel my trust crumbling. The place that had always felt like home now felt like a stage for her twisted game. I tried talking to my dad, hesitating at first, my voice trembling. I don't think this is a good idea. I started, only to be brushed off. He waved me away, saying, she's just trying to be helpful, don't overthink it. But I knew better. I knew that Lisa was building something bigger than just influence. She was setting a trap. That night, I lay in my bed staring at the ceiling, heart hammering. I realized the truth. Lisa wasn't just playing with my dad, she was playing with all of us. And I was the only one who could see it. But the more I thought about stopping her, the more I wondered, was it even possible? Or had she already won? I thought I understood betrayal, but Lisa had a way of redefining it. It wasn't enough to control my dad, she needed to isolate me completely. And she had her eyes on Jake, my best friend, the guy I trusted more than anyone. It started small, innocent seeming texts, subtle jokes, nudges to misunderstandings. One night at that downtown Pasadena bar, I caught them talking alone. Lisa's hand rested lightly on Jake's arm, and the way he laughed, it wasn't friendly. My stomach dropped. I froze, hiding behind the corner, watching them. It hit me like a punch. She was pulling him into her game. My friend, my confidant, was becoming her pawn. I wanted to confront them, to yell, to demand explanations. But I hesitated. Lisa had this way of making you doubt your own perception, making you feel paranoid, like the problem was always you. And Jake, he looked torn, conflicted, but the seed had been planted. He was already slipping. When I got home, my apartment felt smaller than ever. I paced, running my hands over my face. How did I let this happen? I thought, how did I not see it? Memories of our friendship flashed in my mind, the late night talks, the jokes, the trust we had. And now it was crumbling. All because Lisa wanted revenge. All because I had once hurt her heart. The worst part, I realized she wasn't done. She was building a network of manipulation, threading herself into every part of my life. Family, friends, everything I cared about, she was systematically dismantling it. And the deeper I stared into the truth, the colder it got inside me. I sank onto the couch, head in my hands, heart hammering. There was no easy way out. Lisa had set her pieces, and I was trapped. I couldn't fight her without exposing myself. And I couldn't trust anyone anymore, not Jake, not my dad, not even the world I thought I knew. By the time I realized what Lisa had done, I knew I couldn't stay passive any longer. She wasn't just destroying my life, she was taking over it piece by piece, and I was running out of time. That night, I sat at my desk in my small Pasadena apartment, scrolling through old messages, photos, anything I could use. I had to understand her plan before I could even think about stopping it. Lisa had been clever, every encounter, every word, every laugh, carefully calculated, and yet, she left traces, tiny ones. A text she didn't delete, a smile that lingered too long on Jake's phone, an email to my dad about work that was far too personal. I realized I could turn her own obsession against her, but it meant being cunning in a way I never thought I could be. I started plotting, quietly. I would expose her manipulations, piece by piece. I would show Jake the truth, confront my dad, and reveal the twisted game she had been playing. The thought of it made my pulse quicken, anger and adrenaline mixing into a dangerous cocktail. For the first time in weeks, I felt alive, like I had a weapon, a way to fight back. But even as I planned, I knew the risk. Lisa wasn't just my ex, she was smart, ruthless, and patient. One wrong move and the whole plan would collapse. Worse, she might see through me, and then everything I loved, my friends, my family, my own sanity would be gone. I leaned back in my chair, staring at the ceiling, heart pounding. The fire was lit and I was ready to face it. But deep down, a part of me knew this battle would not leave anyone unscathed. And for all the control I thought I had, I was already playing in her world. The night I decided to confront them, I felt my chest tighten so much I thought I might collapse. I couldn't wait any longer. Lisa had to be exposed. Jake had to be confronted. And my dad needed to see the truth before it was too late. I planned everything carefully. Every word, every piece of evidence, hoping it would shatter the illusion she had built. It started at my parents' house during one of their Sunday dinners. And the table was set perfectly, like nothing was wrong, but my stomach churned with anticipation. I cleared my throat and began, my voice shaking at first. There are some things I need everyone to know, things that Lisa and Jake had been hiding. Lisa's head tilted slightly, that same cruel smile, like she'd been waiting for this moment. My dad blinked, confused. Jake shifted uncomfortably, avoiding my gaze. I laid out everything: the texts, the secret meetings, the manipulations, every detail, every little lie. For a moment, the room went completely silent. I could hear the hum of the refrigerator, the ticking of the clock, my own heart pounding in my ears. Then Lisa laughed low, cold, and deliberate. "You think you can control reality just by telling stories?" she said, venom dripping from every word. My dad's face twisted with shock, anger, disbelief. Jake looked guilty, cornered, but defensive. The confrontation spiraled quickly, voices rising, accusations flying, years of trust unraveling in seconds. I wanted to feel relief, vindication, but all I felt was exhaustion, a hollow ache where hope used to live. By the end of the night, Lisa had retreated into calm, calculated silence, and the tension hung in the air like smoke. I realized, with a cold clarity, that exposing her didn't fix anything. It didn't heal my wounds, it didn't restore trust, and it certainly didn't stop the chaos she had set in motion. The war had begun, but I was already bleeding. And in the shadows, Lisa was smiling. By the time the dust settled, everything I thought I could control had slipped through my fingers. Lisa had left my dad, moving out with that same calculated smile, like she had won the first round without even trying. Jake vanished too, no calls, no messages, just gone, leaving me with the weight of betrayal pressing down like a stone in my chest. I walked through the empty apartment, the echo of my own footsteps sounding louder than usual. Every corner reminded me of what had been lost. The photos on the walls, once bright with laughter, now seemed to mock me. My dad tried to reach out, his voice soft, pleading, but I couldn't look at him without seeing the part he had played, even unknowingly, in this mess. I sat on the couch for hours, staring at the ceiling, replaying every moment in my head. How had it come to this? How had a girl I loved once and a friend I trusted turned my life into a battlefield? The anger that had fueled me during my plans of revenge had drained away, leaving a hollow ache that no clever scheme could fix. I realized something terrible. I was truly alone, not just physically, but emotionally. Everyone I had counted on, everyone I had trusted, had betrayed me in ways I wasn't sure I could ever forgive. The fire of anger that had once burned bright now flickered weakly, struggling against the suffocating weight of despair. I looked out the window at the quiet streets of Pasadena, the city bathed in a golden sunset that felt cruelly indifferent to my suffering. And in that moment, I understood that some battles leave no winners, only survivors. Left to wander through the ruins of their own lives, haunted by the ghosts of trust and love that had been shattered. I closed my eyes and whispered to myself, "I'm alone, and I don't know if I'll ever be whole again." I moved to Austin, hoping the distance would heal the wounds that Pasadena had carved into me. New streets, new apartment, new routines. I even got a job at a small marketing firm, a place where nobody knew my name or my past. On paper, it looked like a fresh start. In reality, the shadows followed me everywhere. Every night, I'd sit on the balcony, the city lights shimmering like distant stars, and feel the weight of everything I had lost. Lisa's smile haunted me. Jake's betrayal gnawed at the edges of my mind. My dad's disappointed eyes replayed themselves over and over. No matter how far I ran, the memories clung like wet clothes to my skin. I tried meeting new people, making small connections, even laughing a little. But I realized the walls I'd built around myself weren't easy to tear down. Trust had become a foreign language, and friendship felt like a gamble I wasn't willing to take. I wasn't just afraid of being hurt, and I was afraid of feeling anything at all. Sometimes, I'd imagine what they were doing: Lisa, with her smirk and cunning, probably manipulating someone else. Jake, drifting aimlessly, carrying his guilt like a shadow he couldn't shake. and I'd feel a cold, bitter part of me whispering that maybe revenge didn't matter anymore. Maybe life was just a series of losses we had to survive. I walked through Austin's crowded streets, surrounded by people laughing, arguing, living, and yet I felt invisible, untethered, like a ghost wandering through a life that wasn't mine. I had rebuilt the framework of my world, but the heart of it, the warmth, the trust, the certainty was gone. I leaned against the railing, staring at the dark horizon and thought, some wounds never heal. You just learn to live with the ache and pretend the shadows aren't there, but deep inside, they always are. Years passed. Life in Austin had grown routine, almost peaceful on the surface. I got a better job, met a few acquaintances, even smiled occasionally without forcing it. But peace was a fragile illusion. The ghosts of my past never left. Lisa's laugh, Jake's betrayal, my dad's conflicted eyes, they were always there, lurking in the corners of my mind. One evening, I heard from an old friend back in Pasadena. Lisa had moved yet again, married someone new, and Jake, well, he was struggling, drifting from one failed attempt at stability to another. The news should have given me satisfaction, a sense of vindication, but instead, it felt hollow. Watching them suffer didn't undo my pain. It didn't restore my trust, my friendships, or the family I had once known. It didn't fix the emptiness that had settled in my chest so long ago. I walked along the banks of Ladybird Lake, the water dark and reflective beneath the sea. I thought about all the plans I had made, the confrontations, the nights I spent plotting revenge, and I realized the cruelest truth. There was no victory in exposing Lisa, no triumph in uncovering the betrayals. All it did was leave more scars, more reminders of what I had lost. The city around me moved on. Couples laughed on bridges. Friends shouted across patios. Life carried on for everyone but me. And for the first time, I understood the finality of what had happened. Some people leave permanent marks, some battles are unwinnable, and some shadows never fade, no matter how far you run. I stood there, staring at the dark water, feeling the weight of years pressing down. In the end, no one had won. Not Lisa, not Jake, not my dad, not even me. There was only survival, a hollow endurance, and the haunting certainty that the past had shaped me in ways I could never escape.